Quick survey. How many people actually play Call of Duty campaigns? Of those of you who answer yes, how many of you do it on the first night you actually get the game? And how many of you do it months down the road when you get bored or someone DDoS's PlayStation Network or Xbox Online? And basically you couldn't get online, so you go play the campaign. And how many of you just don't give a fuck? Don't give a flying fuck, like telling the YouTube auditor to go fuck himself. God damn, man. This is some of the funniest shit that I've ever seen when it comes to Call of Duty games. Now, before I go tearing Treyarch a new asshole next to the 10 other gaping assholes I ripped in, let me just say this. There are very few people who buy Call of Duty just to play the campaign. And you know that's the truth. The overwhelming majority of Call of Duty players just want to play online, and they really don't give two shits about the campaign. Now, the gameplay in the background comes from Grim Reaper, and basically I said, can you just hook me up with some campaign footage? So he told me that he went out and he got the Black Ops 2 footage from whatever the hell mission this is. Now, I don't know what fucking mission it is, because obviously I didn't play the fucking game too much, but in watching the video, I do remember that there was some horses in this motherfucker, and this gameplay is part of that horse mission or whatever the fuck it is. And let me just say this, man, the screen in this motherfucker shakes like crazy. Oh my god, it looks like Muhammad Ali and Michael Jackson are having a dance-off on a cold winter day outdoors. Oh man, I'm going to hell over that one, but I really don't give a shit, man. But anyway, you guys will see the gameplay in the background of this motherfucker as part of whatever horse mission they had at this bitch. But anyway, getting back to the point, obviously, there are people who do enjoy the 3-hour campaign or whatever the fuck it is. But let's face it, that's not the big seller of the franchise. It's not the reason people wait in line at midnight or try to break street day in order to rank up quickly. Whether a campaign is actually decent or not has become irrelevant to the franchise, you know, because the main appeal is always going to be the multiplayer. For the few people who only buy this game for the campaign, and I'm talking those who have no intention of going to play multiplayer, I'm sure you heard the news on Friday that what Activision and Treyarch announced. On the older generation consoles, PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, there will be no Black Ops campaign on the disc. The older consoles will only have access to multiplayer, and they're going to miss out on a few goodies that the current consoles will benefit from, and that's a pretty glaring difference that will be occurring in the future. Those who want to play the campaign will only be able to do it on the newer consoles, and those of you who are going to be staying on the older generation of the game, the cost is going to be lowered by $10. It's going to be $50 as opposed to the normal price tag of $60. Holy fucking shit! This is the level that Call of Duty has stooped to. Now, of course, the public relations teams and the marketing team, they have to put a spin on this as a positive thing. The campaign is so large, so magnificent, so earth-shatteringly good that it can only be done on the new consoles. We can't possibly fit all this content onto the older generations. We can't possibly add this many features and downscale the product this much in order to keep people happy. We can't let the older consoles hold back the current consoles because the game then loses their quality. We just can't support 2 generations of consoles, the ever-growing powerful PC players, and of course, the ink fucking people who play the Wii U. So in order to put out this fantastic game, we have to cut support for the older generation. And the only way to do so was to remove the campaign entirely. It doesn't fit on the older consoles. We don't want to dumb it down too much to the point that it's a crappy product, but we still want your money. Hey, I can't give you the full product people will buy, but what I can give you is a scaled down version of the full product for the low price of only $50 fucking dollars. But wait, there's more. If you call our info hotline now within the next 10 minutes, we'll give you a brand new, fresh off the factory line, 100% completely and customized bowl of fuck you. And if that wasn't enough, we also had this lovely and dazzling go fuck yourself also for free. Holy shit, Activision, get the fuck out of here with this crap. Man, are you fucking kidding me? I can't believe this. Well, you know what? I actually can, because we're talking about Activision, and they're that fucking greedy of a cocksucking scumbag have the nerve to do this. But we all know all they care about is money. We know they do this to rip off their customers in any way, shape, or form, and that's been magnified with the success of bilking Destiny players out of our fucking money. So they need their main glory hole franchise to step up their money game. Partial products for minor discounts. Now, I don't care how large the file is for the current generation. I don't care how graphics are or how different the content will really be or what the quality differences will be per console. This is just outright fucking bullshit. Their main reason, the whole logical explanation as to why this is happening, is that the co-op portions of the campaign are not possible on the older generation. So instead of just removing or figuring out how to stop this or work around that shit, they just said, fuck it. They take the Konami approach to gaming. Fuck it, it ain't worth it. Let's close down shop. Instead of thinking with their fucking brains, instead of just dropping the co-op, or instead of just outright saying, this game will not come to older consoles. No, they still want to make money off of sales because they need to bring in every dollar possible in order to hold on to the crown of the most popular or purchased game each year whenever there's a Rockstar game that isn't released. They brag about making $1 billion a year, yet they can't figure out a simple solution to the co-op problem. They brag about this 3-year development cycle, and co-op is the fucking issue? Motherfucker, you had campaign co-op back in World at War, and you're gonna tell people that it's not possible now? Because of outdated technology? Get the fuck out of here with that shit, man. This is a fucking cop-out beyond belief. No matter how advanced you want to portray your co-op mechanics, it's almost as laughable that this is the reason older generations can't get a campaign, seeing plenty of games that have seamlessly done this, Destiny being one of them. This is not a hardware or memory limitation. It's laziness limitation. How much work will a company put into its final product to make sure it's the best possible product? When it comes to Call of Duty, these studios have never been satisfied with excellence. They settle at mediocrity, and they figure out they can patch things into above averageness. Way to shoot for the start on that one, Treyarch. They will say that they programmed this game, Black Ops 3, for the next-gen consoles and realized that it didn't work on the older generation consoles. In other words, they can't port it. Oh hey, my copy and paste button doesn't work. Instead of working on development separately, like they should be doing, they threw all their eggs into one basket for the next generation consoles and then realized they can't copy and paste to the old generation consoles. I don't give a fuck how you try to spin this. That result is essentially just laziness. It's outright embarrassing. Tone-deaf laziness. There are workarounds for this, but they chose to ignore them for the sake of time. 3-year development cycle, yet they're going to use laziness and incompetence as their cop-out reason for this. Now, for the many of you guys out there, I'm sure the majority of you won't even give a shit. You either play on the current generation of consoles, or you just play multiplayer anyway, and you probably won't even give a flying fuck about the campaign, because let's be honest for a second right now. The majority of these campaigns have been utter fucking crap. I mean, Call of Duty 4 was obviously one of their pinnacle moments. They obviously went in a completely different direction with the franchise. They made first-person shooters pretty fun when it comes to actually playing the campaign, and they had a lot of oh shit moments in the Call of Duty 4 campaign. Then World at War came out, it wasn't that great. Modern Warfare 2 was a hot mess. Black Ops 1 tried the whole fucking Fight Club shit, and that really didn't work if you were paying attention to the story from the beginning. Modern Warfare 3, then they jumped to the future. Oh man, don't give me that shit. Black Ops 2 had a good thing when they had the multiple endings. Don't get me wrong, I didn't play the fucking game in full and obviously see these jumping horses in the background. But otherwise, if you were to measure all their campaigns over the past few years, you have to realize they have a lot more misses than they do blockbuster franchise hits. They do not hit the mark when it comes to campaigns, and they haven't hit the mark in a very long time when you look at all the shit they've tried to pass off as campaigns in the recent history. Campaigns are not the reason that sell this game. We know that. There is no question about this. But this isn't an issue about functionality or availability. This is all an issue about principle. There are a number of things Activision and Treyarch could have done differently. There are a few options, but of course none of those make enough money, and they don't want to lose money on a declining franchise. Reality is, they should have just said from the start of this game, it isn't going to be on older consoles. It's only going to be available on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. At least this half-ass product wouldn't have fucking happened in the first place, and they could say that their technology no longer suits the older generation of consoles. But without the older consoles being part of their sales group, they're scared they're not going to make money. So they continue to include them just so they don't lose out on their revenue. Hey, we need your money, but let's insult you during the same exact process. At the end of the day, I don't think too many older generation console players are going to give a fuck about this choice. Reality is, they only play it online, they don't really play the campaign, and they're getting a $10 discount. This sounds pretty good when you look at it on paper as a buyer, but as a gaming practice, this is fucking horrible, because you can only imagine what they're going to do in the future. You can only imagine at some point they're going to say, you know what, how about we just cut the campaign entirely and still charge people $60 for it? How about we do that? All the money we spend on development, all the money we spend on research, all the money we spend on voice acting and all this other shit, producing, production, all these fucking things that cost money when it comes to the campaigns, let's just cut it out entirely and make an online game and sell it for $60 a piece. I can almost guarantee you that's the path that Call of Duty is going to be going down. We joke around that Call of Duty has a shit campaign. We joke around that nobody plays the fucking campaign. But the more you joke about this, the more Activision is going to sit there and say, this sounds like a brilliant fucking idea. I can rip off my customer by cutting the majority of our production costs and still charging them the same fucking amount. This is brilliant. But essentially, they're cutting out a core part of the game because they couldn't copy and paste it to the older generations. This is what the principle is at the heart of it. I can't copy and paste something. I ran my mouth too much, and now I still want to make my money, not as much as before, but I still want to make my money. Here's a $50 half-ass product. This is essentially what Call of Duty has boiled down to this year. Now granted, I'm not buying this shit. Definitely wasn't going to buy this game from the start. I've said it from a long time ago. I have never supported a Treyarch product. I will never support a Treyarch product. And this alone, between Activision and Treyarch, I don't want to blame Treyarch just for this alone, shows, once again, it's all about the money. I don't have a problem with a business making money. I will always have a problem with a business trying to rip off their customers in order to make money. And this falls into that practice. Let's rip off our customers, pretend it's not being a rip-off, and still pulling billions of dollars and act like we just did a grand deal. That's the bullshit always at heart. Anyways, that does it for my Call of Duty rant. As always, rate, comment, subscribe, and all that good shit. And I'll see you guys in the next video.
Good old Tricky Vic.